What is up, State Champs Nation? It is time for another episode of Michigan High School Hang Time. My name is Lorne Plant. This is TJ Kelley. This is Scott Burnstein. Matt Mowery will be along in a little bit, as well as Dan Young. And we are in the thick of things. At the time of recording this, it is just before the regional finals. We have just kind of absorbed what took place in the regional semifinals. Of course, surprises and everything along the way. Districts were a complete crazy, just unbelievable.
It's been a wide open year, so why shouldn't the tournament be wide open?
Absolutely. And
there's been no sure things during the regular season, and there's no sure things during March Madness.
There isn't. And let quickly just mention our sponsors, Lawrence Tech, BCAM, the MHSAA, and Hungry Howie's. Thank you so much. And please support our sponsors. And supporting the MHSAA is just kind of going to their website, making sure, again, they've got all the brackets, everything's updated. They've got team info and stuff. So you can get a lot of great insight there. So, and we were talking before we came on a little bit about, really, I think the division we're most excited about right now is Division II.
Yeah.
And where it's going to go, because there are still a lot of great teams still available, are still alive, and we are going to have some epic matchups here.
Being an Oakland County guy, I'm excited about the OAA Blue.
Yeah.
Who's got 3 teams in the regional finals, 2 being in Division II.
Yeah.
Kind of dovetailing.
Kind of talked about that earlier.
Ferndale
and
and
have to
Pontiac
revisit
right
past
now.
shows.
So who would have thought, forget about 2019, any year, who would have thought that the lowest division in the OAA would be the best? And now it's definitive.
Right.
It's no question. The OAA Blue is the best OAA division out of the red, white, and blue right now. They're the lowest. They're number 3, but they're the team that has 3 teams in the Sweet 16.
I mean, and with strong chances to get to the quarters. It's not like they just got their easy path.
Right.
And then, we're just gonna keep on rolling the ball along.
Right.
No teams
these
left
guys are out there playing some good ball. I was at the game
Putting
last
up
night.
A lot of points
With Ferndale. Yeah, and that's the thing we talked about.
Ferndale was averaging 94 points a game in the districts.
Got to be able to score the ball if you're going to be playing Ferndale.
That's
the
right.
game plan is to hold them under 70, and that ain't happening.
Right.
Sudi's out there chucking that sucker
and
like it's going out of style.
They got 3 Division I recruits
Like there
on
is
the
no
bench.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this is, again, a definitive proof that if you had Simon Wheeler, Colin Golson, and Jay Sean Moore, the team that's scoring 85, 90 a game could be up into triple digits.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Imagine New Haven, Ferndale, Rouge. And I mean, obviously, it's loaded or whatever.
But shout out to Juan Rickman, for overcoming that adversity, keeping his team
great
focused.
Game last night.
He told me, I interviewed him last week, he said the whole thing with the transfers not being eligible was a blessing in disguise. And, it was like we had to look ourselves in the mirror and said, are we going to go out and own this, or are we going to let the situation own us?
They've got some other guys on that team. They've got some other guys on that team who
Travion Lewis is a nice freshman.
We weren't really aware of, prior to Juan getting there.
Right.
And we're talking about guys, Kalen Lucas, his little brother, lefty. Hey, I mean, he's not a point guard. He's more of a scorer. And then you also have Tiante McKeithen.
Breakout year.
He winds up getting the tip back.
He had the buzzer beater last night.
Yeah, he's a kid that when they possibly do interviews and stuff like that, 3-4 years down the road, where he could be on a Division I roster. He'll have to go junior college beforehand. But hey, it's a great story. It's kind of like the aroma of basketball that people find out the blossoming, of these young kids, And so I think that's what it's all about. And
I wasn't able to update our sheet because Scott got us his picks
Jason
late,
Williams.
so you can pick yours later. But we want to get to our picks now and how we're calling it. And I had Matt Mowery get in on it. I had Derek Blaylock, our producer, get in on it. And obviously we have TJ, myself, and Scott. So we'll just do it division by division. First in Division I, TJ's, and we went with sleepers, Final Fours, state finals, and winners. So in Division I, TJ's Final Four is going to be Oxford, Ypsi Lincoln, University of Detroit Jesuit, and Okemos. And he's got in his state final UDJ versus Ypsi Lincoln, and you have Jesuit winning the state title again. Matt Mowery. And then, by the way, your sleeper is Saginaw. That's who your sleeper is. In Division I for Matt Mowery, he's got Detroit King, Okemos, UD Jesuit, and Saginaw. In his final, he's got King versus UD Jesuit, and he has UD Jesuit winning the state title. Myself. And his sleeper is who is it? Roseville's his sleeper. So in Division I for me, I have my Final Four is Oxford, King, UDJ, and Okemos. And I have King versus UDJ in the state final and UDJ winning. Derek and my sleeper is Saginaw. Division I for Derek, he has Saginaw, King, UDJ, and East Kentwood.
Nice.
And he has UDJ and King going at it for the final. UD Jesuit winning Roseville, his sleeper. Who you got?
I got Oxford as my sleeper. Saginaw, UDJ, Okemos, King for my Final Four. Final UDJ versus King. Coach Donnelly and the Cubbies grabbed that second title in 4 years or 3 years? 3 years.
Yeah.
Who's your sleeper? Grosse Pointe North?
No, Oxford. Wait, so
Oxford's a good sleeper.
Yeah.
So
There's no
UDJ
question
won in
about it.
16.
Yeah.
So this would be their second in 4 years.
Yeah, and we all have, except for you, you've got Ypsi Lincoln riding that momentum train to the finals.
You know, in saying that, I just think that Imani Bates is that guy, and so I was kind of thinking, Imani,
that dude.
Yeah,
no, this is the thing about Imani Bates. He controls so much more, where it just everybody focuses on him. Scott, man, you're shooting wide open jumpers all day long.
Yeah.
You know, when he goes into the basket, everybody else gets out of position for rebounding.
Yeah.
And that's what King is. I mean, they're a very detailed team. George Ward has them very detailed, you know, as a group. And they're going to have to know, like,
there's a wild card on the
leave
court.
that spot.
Yes.
Who does East Kentwood have to beat to get to
Hudsonville. So you got Max Perez versus Jamani Jones, two of the better juniors in the state scholarship juniors, if you ask me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to Division II, and this is probably where we have the most division. In Division II, TJ, his Final Four is Alma, Benton Harbor, River Rouge, and New Haven. Your state final is Benton Harbor versus New Haven. You've got New Haven winning the state title. Hudsonville Unity Christian, your sleeper. Matt Mowery, his Final Four is Alma, Benton Harbor, River Rouge, and New Haven. He's got River Rouge versus Benton Harbor, and he's got River Rouge as the state champ. And Ferndale as his sleeper. I have Alma, Benton Harbor, River Rouge, and New Haven in my Final Four. I have Benton Harbor versus River Rouge, and I got River Rouge winning the state title. Derek and my sleeper's Alma.
All right.
My sleeper's Alma. Division II, Final Four, Derek has Flint Powers, Benton Harbor, River Rouge, and New Haven. He's got Benton Harbor versus New Haven, and he's got New Haven winning the state title. Who you got?
My sleeper is Ferndale.
Oh, his sleeper, by the way, is Hazlitt.
Hazlitt.
Yeah.
All right. 517 in the house.
My Final Four, River Rouge, Benton Harbor, New Haven, and Powers.
Okay.
Noah Bayless, who I call Baby Nash. He's got a little Steve Nash in his game. Had 25 last night in the regional semi. Final, I got River Rouge and Benton Harbor. And the champion, I'm going with River Rouge.
Okay, there you go. We're all calling Rouge.
All
Lamonte
right. Yeah,
Stone.
the champ.
Lamonte Stone back in control.
Yeah. Yeah, all
Taking
right.
them. They're going to wear those burgundy jackets all the way.
I think it's going to be great. I mean, Class B has put us
Best dressed
given us
team,
some,
definitely
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
state.
given
Those bow ties.
yeah,
I mean,
it
we
look like Shriners.
We know it could be all or none of those. you
Yeah,
know, depending on how this playoffs
That's
is
why
run.
they
So
play the game.
That's it. But we're gonna some of the semifinals. I think this year, as has been recently, are going to be amazing.
Yes.
You know, we're going to see some just drag
I think
out
it's no miss.
battles. Yeah. Division III. TJ's got Iron Mountain, Beecher, Hanover Horton, and Pewamo Westphalia in the Final Four. You've got Beecher versus Hanover Horton in the state final, and you've got Flint Beecher winning another championship. Depsa, your sleeper in Division III. Matt Mowery's got Iron Mountain, Pewamo Westphalia, Hanover Horton, and Flint Beecher as his Final Four. Pewamo Westphalia versus Beecher in the final, and Beecher winning again. His sleeper, Sanford Meridian. Lorne has got Oscoda, Flint Beecher, and Hanover Horton, and who's in my fourth here? My fourth would have been. That's funny. I didn't put a fourth in here, which is interesting. But I would say in Division III,
Dansville's your sleeper.
Dansville's my sleeper. Yeah. So, oh well. Anyway, I have Flint Beecher taking on Hanover Horton anyway, and I have Beecher winning. So, and then Derek had Iron Mountain, Beecher, Hanover Horton. I would have had Pewamo as my other one. Pewamo, yeah. And Beecher, Hanover Horton in the final, and he's got Beecher winning it. His sleeper is Depsa. Scott, who you got?
I got the Brown Bomber and Madison Heights Madison as my sleeper. My Final Four, Iron Mountain, Beecher, Hanover Horton, and PW. In the final, I see Beecher going up against Pewamo and Beecher taking home the crown.
Beecher winning another
Jalen Terry,
championship.
Ernest Sanders, and company.
Hey, and you look at if you look at this Final Four, look at some of the guys that are all sophomores and juniors in that. I mean, from Iron Mountain. Yeah, and I've messed with the guys at Michigan State. I've said, hey, Garland got his guy at Belleville, maybe Iron Mountain. Izzo. Foster Wonders.
The wonder of Foster Wonders.
Yes. Let's get to Division 4, which, again, is one of those ones that is a little harder to call. I went with them. So let's see. Final 4 for TJ. Pellston, Southfield Christian, Big Rapids, Crossroads, and Belleville. You've got Southfield Christian versus Bellevue, and SC winning another one. Your sleeper was left undone. You did not put a sleeper in D4. Who hit it?
Gotta reveal it. Dollar Bay, fellas.
I call it Money Bay. I call it Cash Money Bay.
Yes.
All right, we were waiting for that. Matt has Pellston, Frankfort, Wyoming Tri-Unity, and Southfield Christian in the Final 4. Southfield Christian taking on Wyoming Tri-Unity, and he has Wyoming Tri-Unity.
Right.
Winning the champion, his sleeper is Bellevue. I have Dollar Bay, Southfield Christian, Frankfort, and Pittsford as my Final 4. I've got Southfield Christian taking on Pittsford in the final, and I've got SC winning a title. My sleeper is Bellevue. Same Belleville. Derek, Crystal Falls, Forest Park, Southfield Christian, Fulton, and Bellevue. He's got Southfield Christian taking on Bellevue, and he's got Bellevue winning, and he has his sleeper as Bellevue. So
really,
yeah.
Hey,
so there you go.
Win-win.
It's all Bellevue.
Throw it all in.
And again, Bellevue Athens had a I'm sure a great game. I've not been able to see a write up on it yet, but
Derek's picking a nightlight nasty.
But that could have gone anyway.
Bellevue is. I mean, they play in a really tough, conference, and or their league. They've been had to battle with Athens, many other teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So hey, it'll be fun to see some of the small schools, emerge, and be able to hopefully attend the games at early morning on that Thursday, 21st.
Yeah.
I got Oakland Christian as my sleeper. My Final 4, Southfield Christian, Tri-Unity, Frankfort, and Pellston. In the final, I got Tri-Unity playing Southfield Christian, and I'm going with the repeat. Southfield Christian is going to get number 5 in 8 years.
All right. Next time we gather, we're going to be talking about quarterfinal.
Number 6 in 8 years.
Okay.
All right.
Southfield Christian, man. It's crazy. It's crazy as a playoff since we all have a lot of repeat champions going in. So we'll see what happens. Well, we'll be able to talk about the quarterfinals when we get back together. That's going to be crazy. And we'll be previewing the state semifinals, which will kick off a week from today or Thursday. And it's all about the state finals next weekend. So we're here. And
no, 5. Is it 5?
Well,
I can't do it. It's 6.
This will be their 6th if they win this year.
I can't do math.
Yes, it's
okay.
Okay. Yes, you got
yes,
it.
you can do, man.
You can do it. All right. So, gentlemen, appreciate it. As always, we're going to have Matt Mowery here next. We're going to talk about what's happening in the girls' districts going. We've got some crazy results already in girls' basketball. We'll talk about it.
Fundraising should be fresh, flavorful, and simple. We have the perfect solution at Hungry Howie's. Dough Raiser. Your team or school can sell paper pizza certificates that can be redeemed for one medium pizza at participating locations.
We've been doing this fundraiser for about 4 years, and it's the easiest and best and most profitable fundraiser they have in Michigan.
Go to doughraiser.com to learn more and sign up. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Welcome to Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser.
State Champs, Michigan High School HangTime. It is time now to talk about girls basketball. Matt Mowery is here, the digital managing editor for StateChampsNetwork.com. How you doing?
Not bad.
Crazy time of year.
Got the playoff beard going.
Yes, exactly. We actually recorded this on a Wednesday, so he's going to girls basketball tonight.
Yep.
I'm going to girls basketball tonight for State Champs, and we're in the district playoffs now. And again, kind of a different feeling with the boys so far along now. Girls just getting going, but there have been some upsets early.
Yeah, there were a couple, and one team that everybody kind of had in their top 10 all season long in Grand Haven. It wasn't really an upset because they faced a Muskegon team that I had in the top 10 to start the season too, and they've got a Miss Basketball candidate or Miss Basketball finalist. So it was just a good matchup, but it was one of those where it's, again, for Grand Haven, it's a shorter postseason than they would like. And they in their conference, they'd really been pushed by both Rockford and East Kentwood, so it wasn't a huge surprise that they would get knocked off. But then Muskegon Oak Ridge kind of avenged their only loss of the regular season, beating Whitehall on day one. They'd been kind of in a coaching, change in midseason. That's when Whitehall knocked them off. But Whitehall really, other than that and one other, the loss to the Muskegon Oak Ridge in the regular season and one other loss, they'd pretty much run the table. So they were a team that was, an honorable mention. I think the big surprise in D3 was number 2 ranked Maple City Glen Lake getting knocked off by a very good Manton team, the 17-win Manton team in the regular season, 46-36. I had Glen Lake going all the way to the championship game. So that kind of, if we're doing brackets, I'm crumpling mine up for D3 right now.
Right.
But that might open it up in that region for a team like Ishpeming Westwood that was 19-1 in the regular season, or Iron River West Iron County 17-2, or even Charlevoix or Manton that that knocked them off. It kind of opens up that region. So now there's almost anybody could come through there.
Yeah. I think I think when we talk about what we believe the deepest division is going to be Division 1. That's where we're going to see, again, may not see these matchups here in the districts, although we are going to get some, especially as we get to Friday.
Yes.
But, how do you feel the best teams, the cream of the crop of D1, were playing heading into districts and their ultimate outcomes?
Well, a lot of them, as we watched throughout the season in the rankings, a lot of them played each other.
Yes.
So, there were a lot of only lost to, Heritage, or only lost to A&T, or only lost to Edison for a lot of teams.
Yes.
So there was a lot of kind of, interplay between those teams. So a lot of them were playing very well, and kind of against everyone else, they ran the table. Well, you're right. We'll see some of those matchups Friday, and then next week on both Tuesday and Thursday. That's when we get a little more of the key matchups. There were a lot of competitive games in D1 over the first night of results, but there weren't a ton of truly profound games where you go, ooh, we got to go out and see that one. When we get to Friday, there are going to be some more. We're going to have most likely we'll have Mumford, the PSL champ, against Southfield A&T, the number 1 team, the OAA Red champ in D1. We'll have a King Cast Tech matchup in OK more than likely, and we could see an East Kentwood East Grand Rapids matchup between two division winners in the OK conference. That should be a very good one. Then we could have a Royal Oak team that was the runner-up in the OAA Red going up against Birmingham Marion and trying to end that streak that every team that's gone through that Marion district in the last 10 to 15 years, they've been trying to knock off Marion, and I believe it's only in the last, decade plus, I think it's only happened once. So they've kind of had that streak of districts going, and now it's kind of Royal Oak's turn to take the shot. Yeah,
they're taking on Bishop Foley in the regional semi, right? That's
the Royal Oak Shrine.
I'm thinking of Shrine. Never mind. You're right. This is Royal Oak.
The Big Brother.
Not Royal Oak Shrine. I was going to say, you're right. Okay. Yes, Royal Oak is definitely favored to move on. And what we get in the districts a lot of times are your city schools, the neighborhood schools, and so a lot of them have played each other already. And in girls, we tend to not see the upsets as much as we tend to see with the boys. But you look at a team like West Bloomfield on Monday, and we'll have those highlights on State Champs this week. And it went right down to the wire.
It did, and they were the only team that had beaten Avondale all season long. Those were kind of the two contenders in the OAA White. The interesting thing will be to see what the division is between the Red and the White, because there are a couple of OAA Red teams in that district too, and they don't necessarily have the shiny records, but they've been beating each other up in the OAA Red. So that's always a kind of an indicator when you get to the postseason of how much difference there is in between those top divisions and lower tier divisions in some of the conferences that do it by kind of scale it down as they go down. But yeah, we should have a fun Friday, especially when you get into some of the lower divisions.
Right. Finally, in Division 4, I have Adrian Lenawee Christian winning. You have St. Ignace winning.
Right.
I would not be surprised if that's the case. We both have them meeting in the finals. And if it truly is, that should be a really good final.
Yeah, I've had a couple of coaches, and when you send out the questionnaires the preseason, you get back some interesting responses sometimes. I had a couple of different coaches not named Doreen Inglis tell me that this might be Doreen's fastest team at St. Ignace. Wow. So, and considering some of the non-conference scores that they put up, I mean, you kind of they've been the behemoth of the Straits Area Conference for a goodly long
Yes,
time.
no doubt.
But it's what they do in kind of some of those intersectional matchups, and they really took it to some teams. I mean, I think when I saw, when I kind of went wow and knew that they were something maybe more than just, I moved them into the Super 10 was when they beat Kingsley, and they beat Kingsley pretty solidly.
Yeah.
So there was a Kingsley team that was in the Class B semifinals last year and lost to Country Day. So that was pretty impressive, and they've been impressive. Adrian Lenawee Christian actually got knocked off in the last week of the regular season. But that's, again, they've got all kinds of talent, and so it's not discounting, and I think we're probably going to see those two in the finals, but you never know.
Sometimes losing right at the end is the best, recipe for you to kind of regroup and say, guys, if that's a playoffs, we're done.
Right.
So that's our scare.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
Here we go. So, Matt, thank you. Of course, read all his stuff, all his coverage. You can read it at statechampsnetwork.com. What's the Twitter handle?
Full court coverage.
Full court coverage, real easy, and he'll give you updates of everything that's happening. He's covering boys too.
Yep.
He was at the Imani Bates thriller against with Ypsilanti, which is what
Yes,
that was.
it was. Yeah, that
we
was a
talked about
packed
that
house.
already.
Yep.
So again, follow us on statechampsnetwork.com. I mean, that's the website, and again, Twitter's got it, and it's got links to what we got going on. And thank you very much. All right, coming up next, we'll finish up. We'll talk about the Miss Basketball Finalists with Dan Young of BCAM. That's how we're going to wrap up this week's edition of
Coaching basketball is a rewarding and challenging pursuit, but you don't have to do it alone. The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan are here to support you.
BCAM is the largest coaches association in the country with nearly 6,000 members representing college, high school, and middle school ranks. Members have access to drills, clinics, job opportunities, and it's the only way to vote for our annual awards, including Mr. and Miss Basketball.
Join today by visiting bcam.org, because better coaching always matters.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
State Champs Michigan High School HangTime. Dan Young is here, the executive director of BCAM, and we're talking about the girls Miss Basketball Finalists. I guess girls and Miss Basketball would indicate that it's girls, but the Miss Basketball Finalists, that's what we're talking about. And we wanted to kind of give you the Final Four, and we can talk a little bit about the process, if you feel comfortable with that, and, how the votes came in this year. But first off, why don't we talk about the players? I'll bring it up. We'll just kind of take it one by one. It's funny, 3 of the 4 going to Michigan State, which is interesting, and one, of course, going to Mississippi State. But Julia Arold out of
Gorsport North.
6'2" senior. She is a very dominant player. When she's on the floor, and they like to run a lot through her.
Complete package. Good size, rebounds well, blocks shots, good passer, really good in transition, kind of a point forward.
Yes.
Susie Merchant is excited about her ability to do lots of things, very much a hybrid. I think that's the word she used, a hybrid player that can shoot it, pass it, rebound it. I mean, she's going to be a person that's going to be at the next level, hard to get off the court. Gary Bennett is an outstanding coach, longtime BCAM member, and just a tremendous person and coach. We highlighted him in our newsletter this year, or this month, a nice article written by the local paper in Grosse Pointe. She's tremendous. She would be fun to coach for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All-state dream teamer last year.
Yep.
So she'll be definitely getting back-to-back in that. And, yeah, I thought it was interesting. I went and the reason I went to Country Day last Thursday night is I wanted to see Frank Orlando's final home game.
Oh, I know it.
And
Awesome.
he's about to receive a Lifetime Achievement, I think they call it the Wooten Award, which is going to be down in Atlanta at the All-American game.
That's
There's just 2 coaches in the country that get the award every year. He's one of them, another gentleman from Texas.
Very cool.
So he is, kind of went out. Of course, he was getting emotional, and Country Day had a nice little plaque for him, and playing a good Grosse Pointe North team. And so I got a chance to see A-Ralt play too. But again, Gary Bennett being there on Frank Orlando's last game.
Very cool.
They had a nice embrace and nice conversation.
2 classy gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yep, well deserved.
It was very cool. Some people are calling her the GOAT, and that is Rickea Jackson, the greatest of all time. That, of course, is something that will always be up for debate, and we'll see if Detroit Edison can get it done again this year, now being in Division II. I don't see I think it would be a tremendous shock if they did not, but their leader, the 6'3 senior, going to Mississippi State is, again, when you talk about complete player, and I mean every facet of the game, and does it with such, she's so smooth. It's so precise. And that's because she's in the gym all the time.
She's put in her
Jackson.
work. She's put in her work. And she's legit 6'3".
Yeah.
With that type of skill level and touch and feel, she does it all. When we saw her at Lawrence,
Jam,
and she came down full speed, went behind her back, went right into a 3, nothing but net, with a girl hanging all over her. The crowd just erupted in that section, just like she's really a special player. Named to the McDonald's All-American game. She's won the Gatorade Awards. She's really, really special. We're lucky that she's here.
Yeah.
And it's for the other girls. In any other year, they could win it.
Right.
She's just head and shoulders above everybody else. And then so.
Yeah.
It's been neat to watch.
I'm sure they said the same thing when Magic Johnson, for
Yeah,
instance,
right.
was that they're just like,
Right.
hey, any other year.
Sometimes it's just
yeah.
she's really, really special player.
But we're talking about all of them. They're all special. And again, it's interesting. She's the non-Michigan State of the Final Four. The rest are all going to be playing together as Spartans, wanting to do the thing at the next level. Moira Joyner, Mo Joyner, as they call her, 5'9" guard out of Saginaw Heritage. Again, another player that is outstanding. They were Class A state champions last season. She was the best player on that team last season, and she is this year. She was another dream teamer a year ago, and a really a player that she's going to defend you, and then she's going to take you off the dribble. You got to be on your game and be in good physical fitness because she's going to run.
Yeah, she's considered a combo guard because she can handle it and pass it and drive it and that. But she's improved her perimeter game, and she's always been an elite defender. Another girl going to Michigan State, play for Susie, and she's had a really good year. And they're obviously one of the top teams, so it has helped her being in all those games in the state tournament a year ago.
Yeah.
On the boys' side, you look at Joe Moon, who kind of came on the scene. Well, all of these girls have been in the mix for years, and this was a tough list to get down to. I know the committee had a hard time, but this crew is definitely a special, and Mo is she's a winner.
Absolutely. Muskegon's Eliza Winston, and again, if you're following what's going on in districts, they had a big win over Grand Haven. Grand Haven is a talented team. Eliza Winston and the Muskegon Big Reds still alive. And again, she is, one of those players who, if you've watched her in the past, again, she was great on the dribble drive. She just could have a knack for getting to the rack. And but this year she's really incorporated a nice pull-up jumper. So you think she's gonna drive, she stops, and she's just so good.
She's worked on her game. You can tell that all of these girls you don't just shoot and make shots consistently unless you put in your time in the gym. That's a credit to all the coaches that have worked with these young ladies. But Winston has improved her shooting, and that will only help her as time goes on. And she's scored more points than anybody in Muskegon, but she's been at Mona Shores and Muskegon. Right. So, but another girl going to Michigan State.
Yep.
So they've got 3 really versatile, athletic kids that are coming their way. So good for them. And yeah, she's been really good. 26 points a game as a lead guard.
Yeah.
And they need her to score.
Yep.
But yeah, she's been incredible.
Okay, finally then, talk about the process, this year's Miss Basketball process.
Yeah, so the process will start at, a wide range of 20 players. We'll get down to 10. And Doreen Ingalls, Mick McCabe, they tap into coaches all around the state and find out and listen and get stats and who played against who. And it's a behind-the-scenes process that goes over the whole year, and it's tough. It's tough to get it down. Back in the day, we used to have 10 on the list, and it seems like it would be very difficult to get it down. So the committee, led by Doreen, tries to get it to 3, 4, 5, and this year was very difficult. I know they were struggling to get it to 4 because there were more girls, a lot of really good players. Yeah. So they narrowed it down to 4, but it was tough. It was tough to get it to this crew, and then it'll go to the vote.
Okay, quickly as we let you go, all right, and we wrap the show. When will we find out who's Mr. Basketball? When will we find out who's Miss Basketball?
Monday, this coming Monday at the Free Press at 1:00 will be
the 11th.
Will be the announcement for Mr. Basketball. So it'll be at the Free Press building, and then the following Monday, the 18th at 1 p.m. will be Miss Basketball's announcement.
Okay. Yep, and then, of course, on the weekends, we've got boys state finals next week, and then following that, we'll get to the girls. So, again, we're going to wrap up March with some great games, and we'll find out who will be Mr. and Miss Basketball for 2018-19 season. So, it's amazing how the years go by. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Hang Time. We'll see you next week. It's going to be great. Make sure you tune in.